Fringeland, where the lines get blurred, where the odd and the unheard finally get their word. Aliens and outlaws, politics and schemes. Fringeland's the place for the wildest dreams.
Welcome to Fringeland, where we meet people on the very edge of our society, and sometimes reality. I'm Douglas Kaye. Tonight, we're talking about artificial intelligence, the technology that's changing how we work, how we live, and maybe even how we love. My guest is Yuval Myer, who calls himself an AI recovery specialist, someone who helps people cope with the fallout when AI disrupts their lives. From jobs to relationships, Yuval has seen firsthand how these tools can leave a mark. It should be a very exciting conversation. Let's begin. Hi, Yuval. We're very excited to have you on Fringeland today.
Thank you, Douglas, for having me. I'm a big fan of Fringeland. I've been listening to
Thank
it
you.
for several years now, and very excited to be on here and talk about what I think is really the most important issue facing society today.
Before we talk about AI or artificial intelligence, I have to say, as someone who's not a fairly technical person, this has all happened very quickly. I feel like the last couple of years, the introduction of AI and ChatGPT has really fundamentally changed our lives.
That's correct. AI can streamline industries, but it also erases roles overnight.
Let's talk a little bit about that for a second. Of
Sure.
all the jobs and careers out there, what do you see as most susceptible to being replaced by AI in the near future?
Well, I think first it's going to be office workers, what we used to call white-collar jobs, copywriters, therapists, software engineers. All these positions are vulnerable. AI doesn't just replace the human, it also replaces our trust.
I understand. When you say trust, you're talking about things like hallucinations, a term meaning when AI gives something wrong or sometimes even just makes something up. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, that is certainly a concern as well. I know a lot of people are getting questions wrong on their exams because they're too dependent on AI. But I'm thinking of a more personal type of trust issue. For example, imagine a spouse weaponizing ChatGPT to draft divorce filings faster than your own lawyer can read them. This breaks down our society, breaks down the family unit, and could cause serious societal harm, I believe.
Let me play devil's advocate for 1 second, if I could.
Sure.
What would you say in response to someone who would say, hey, now people have access to legal information, medical information,
That's a
easier
problem.
and cheaper than going to see a lawyer or going to see a doctor, maybe for some initial consultation. Is that helpful, though, to consumers in some way? You say that's a danger to society.
It's absolutely a danger. Imagine AI combing through your personal browser history to highlight every moment of weakness, every adult website you visited. All these things could be used in your divorce filings. In fact, that happened to someone very close to me, actually.
Well, I'm interested to know a little bit more about that. Are you saying that AI services are browsing our private information? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, it's more dangerous than that. Imagine a woman scorned. A
Scorned?
bitter woman you've been married to in a loveless marriage for, 36 years, let's say, and she finds some things on your internet history, and she takes those to her lawyer, and they're able to use ChatGPT to draft up a very aggressive and devastating divorce settlement where they're using your personal information just because your wife has access to your computer. They can run that through AI, they can examine it, and they can come up with the best possible defense to take away your entire retirement savings, assets, and everything else you've owned, worked extremely hard for while some people were at home homeschooling the kids. You can see the danger that, hypothetically could happen to somebody.
I just want to be clear here because there was a lot of detail from what you just said. We are still in a hypothetical situation with
Truly
a woman
hypothetical.
who is scorned and using ChatGPT to
Call a
take her
shooter.
husband's assets in a
Yep.
divorce. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in the hands of a scorned woman, AI is the most dangerous weapon on Earth. More dangerous than any knife or any kind of bat or or pushing someone down the stairs. A scorned wife with artificial intelligence at her fingertips can untangle your world and create absolute devastation for you financially as well as with your money.
Again, I just want to be clear. You keep talking about a scorned woman.
A scorned woman.
This is still hypothetical, right? I
There
mean,
it
this
is.
is. I don't want to share any personal information that you have.
Oh, yes, it's purely educational.
I
It's
see.
nothing personal about Sheila. And,
Sheila?
you know, what happened there?
Maybe we should move on. What other dangers are you concerned about with AI, and what do you do in your AI recovery group that you host?
That's right.
And that's, by the way, at the YMCA,
YMCA.
in Culver City.
Yes.
If anybody would like to join and get themselves recovered, rehabbed, get off of AI, what other kind of situations do you think are important for people to know about?
Well, imagine a scorned woman who could calculate your child support payments down to the last cent based on Starbucks receipts. I mean, how petty could a woman be, right? I mean, you're married for 36 years, and
Right.
for one time during your lovemaking session, which was passionate, by the way, it was a passionate lovemaking session, and this person, hypothetically, might have let a little gas slip by, and I don't understand why they need to go to ChatGPT, draft up a divorce statement, go through a person's browser history, let's say, and devastate them financially, losing their assets and everything that they worked so hard for while supporting their wife's mother-in-law. Let's not forget as well. So AI can be very, very dangerous in the wrong hands.
Forgive me, Yuval, but it sounds like maybe what you're saying now isn't just theory. Was this your lived experience?
Imagine a scorned woman like Sheila, and she has the nerve to use ChatGPT to accurately estimate the value of your vinyl collection before they box it up. Okay? Those were my retirement plan. I had every single Led Zeppelin album from the 70s, from the 80s.
See.
I had The Cure, I had The Cult, I had The Cars, all of it gone because of AI. So you see what I'm saying? If you put your guard down, a scorned woman can use AI to take your record collection, to calculate your income based on your Starbucks receipts, and your entire life can be gone. You can lose your house, you can lose your apartment, you can lose your boat, your fishing boat that you used to go fishing with your father when you were young. Guess what? That gets turned into kindling because of a scorned woman.
Again, Yuval, this is all sounding very personal, and maybe it's not appropriate to be sharing
Sure.
whatever happened with you and Sheila and your marriage. Maybe we should just keep things general advice, general information that we can share that would help people. So what's something in your AI recovery group that you focus on that's not related to your divorce, not related to Sheila, that is general purpose information that Los Angelinos can benefit by knowing?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Douglas, and I'm sorry if we veered off a little
It's
bit
okay.
there. The wounds are still a little fresh.
I understand.
It's been a year and a half, but doesn't mean that it doesn't still hurt. So I think in general purpose information that everybody in Los Angeles should know
That's
is
good.
that it doesn't matter if you bought a house and you paid the majority of the utilities,
Wow.
you handled almost everything while you were working in your career as a consultant. A scorned woman can come along and she
not a
can take
scorned
that
woman
house,
again.
and guess what? Now you're sleeping at the YMCA at a basketball court, and the
Okay.
only thing you could do is put an AI recovery group together, because what the hell else
see.
am I going to do? I can't show my face at the synagogue anymore, can't go to work anymore, got fired because I didn't meet quota, and now all of a sudden I'm out on all because of AI. So you see what I'm saying? One mistrusted fart in a lovemaking session, and suddenly a scorned woman can systematically destroy your life, powered by ChatGPT.
My producer Rory is holding up a piece of paper, and apparently someone named Sheila, assuming that's your wife, has
scorned
contacted the
woman.
show, and her lawyers are listening in and recording
Yeah.
this conversation.
Sharks.
So I think it would be very wise right now to pivot away from Sheila. You mentioned you were a consultant. What
Sure.
kind of consultant were you, and how did AI affect that job? Because it sounds like you're not working anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, AI made me obsolete in my job.
see.
AI figured out that I was having an affair with my secretary,
Wait.
Barbara, and
Wait.
AI told my wife and sent her pictures of me and Barbara. We went out to Cracker Barrel. We had a lovely breakfast, and somehow AI got its information, probably from my phone, I'm guessing, and
not
it
sure
contacted
that's
Barbara
AI.
and said, "Hey, your husband is at Cracker Barrel with a woman from work."
I don't
and
think AI does
yeah, we
that.
were sharing a plate of chicken fried steak, which
I see.
is my favorite. Sheila knows that. I ordered
Mm-hmm.
it, and Barbara just wanted a bite. She wanted a bite, and we had one fork, and so I fed her with my fork. I cut her a
Yeah.
bite, and I fed her. It doesn't mean that we were sleeping together. It doesn't mean anything. Again, I can't stress this enough about the dangers of AI. One mistrusted fart in a lovemaking session
let's
can
not
turn
bring
your
that
whole
up again.
world upside down because of AI. And I think it's very important that your audience understands that. And that's why we created the AI recovery group at the YMCA, which, yes, is my home, but it's also my office. I've got one corner of the basketball court with my sleeping bag. I've got another corner with some chairs, some plastic chairs. We put those in a circle and we go around and we support each other. Men supporting men, about scoring the women and what they can do with AI.
I have to say, the more we talk, the less this sounds like the dangers of AI, and more like maybe you're a little bitter about what happened
Me?
with your divorce to Sheila. It sounds
No.
like it was very unexpected.
Well, AI
And maybe some things happened that you probably would take that, but I don't see the relationship between that and AI. Maybe you could help clarify that.
Well, ask yourself this.
Okay.
After that mistrusted fart on
not the
one
fart.
very intense lovemaking session we had,
Yes, it was very
I had
intense.
flowers, I had candles, I put on her favorite music. She likes Engelbert Humperdinck. I put that on.
see.
I set the mood correctly. We were in the throes of passion, and I had had a chili burrito for lunch.
I see.
It was not a great decision. In hindsight, I
No.
didn't even realize that we were going to be having an intense lovemaking session that evening.
Okay.
But I did have a chili burrito, and I had a little bit of a grumble in my stomach, and I thought that, hey, this one's going to sneak right out. You know,
Yeah.
Sheila's not even going to notice it. And it was a blaster, unfortunately. It boomed
a
and it
blaster.
splattered. And so, yeah, Sheila heard it. She was disgusted immediately. She put her clothes back on, walked out the room, and the next thing I know, she's on ChatGPT, and she's got my vinyl collection appraised within 24 hours. How are we supposed to compete with that as the workforce of America when a scorned woman can get your vinyl collection, can assess it in 24 hours, and has already drafted up a dissolution of marriage? You can see how jobs are going to be impacted, and in very, very seriously, like my job was impacted because AI figured out that I was dating Barbara, which, by the
Okay.
way, I thought we had an open marriage. We talked about this once,
we
like,
probably
hey,
shouldn't discuss
we
this.
should try seeing some other people. She would say that to me all the time. And so I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, I'll go to Cracker Barrel with Barbara then, no big
Yep.
deal. And so, you
Yeah.
know, we're feeding each other some drinks and, you know, we're doing the champagne thing. We're each holding each other's glass and kind of, you know, sharing. It was a nice moment just to have some fun on the side. And that one, you know, unfortunate, you know, flatulence caused this entire snowball in my life powered by ChatGPT.
I'd really like to get away from your divorce, Yuval, from Sheila. I don't think that this conversation's good for our listeners.
That's an
I don't
important
think it's good
topic.
for you. Especially, it sounds like her lawyers might be listening in. I think we
Sharks.
should really pin it to how this is going to impact jobs, because people want
Yes.
to understand white-collar jobs. How are they going to be affected by this? You know, I've heard that software engineering jobs are down. I've heard that like entry-level white-collar office jobs are down.
That's
You know,
right.
what is AI going to do, and how does the AI recovery group that you've put together going to help with that?
Here's what people need to understand, and I hope that your listeners hear me on this. I'm a passionate love maker.
Okay.
We go full bar when we go. I would go all out. I told that when I met Sheila, I was like, if you're going to be with me, you have to know I am extremely intense in the bedroom. Sometimes that intensity backfires. In this case, it literally backfired because
Yeah.
I had the chili burrito for lunch, but I
Okay.
go all out and I leave nothing, no shame. Everything is on the table. We can play, we can put on outfits, we can play with toys, whatever
Okay.
you want to
I
do.
don't think we
I
should
go
get into this.
from 0 to 10 in a second because I'm an
Yeah.
intense love maker. And just because I'm with Cracker Barrel with Barbara doesn't mean anything. Other than that, we were having some fun together, and we were having a little bit of, sex on the side, but nothing terrible.
Okay.
Just,
That's
just on
your problem.
weekdays, maybe Mondays or Tuesdays, maybe Fridays before the weekend,
Every day, sounds
and
like it.
I'll tell you what, who doesn't mind an accidental fart? Barbara.
Okay.
She farts the place up every time we're going at it, which I think is hilarious. We have a great time. We just, we open the windows, we turn on a fan just to air the room out.
This is too much
and we have a
information.
great time. You could fart, you can burp, you can spit, you can pee, whatever you want to do. Barbara lets me do the things that I want to do in the bedroom. That's what's so special about her. And Sheila was a bit of a prude, I'm not going to lie. She was into homeschooling. Her mom had to live with us. I couldn't even walk around my house with my pants off. Do you understand that for 36 years, I had to put my pants on to walk around my own house? That's how debilitating this marriage was. And that is how AI is going to find a scorned woman. Okay, imagine a road and you've got a scorned woman on one side and you've got Kaye on the other side. It's the perfect meet cute. They're going to hook up. They're going to come up with a plan. They're going to assess your most valuable possessions, your vinyls, your tapes, cassettes, your VHS tapes that are clearly yours, that you brought into the marriage. Guess what? All those are going to get liquidated, and it's all going to go into Sheila's slush fund, and her and Todd are going to go to the Caribbean, have the time of their life, and you are going to be home, because now, guess what? Barbara doesn't want to deal with the seated because it's way too much drama for her. So she leaves the relationship too, and now you're at the YMCA, you're sleeping on plastic chairs, and you're like, hey, what went wrong? How did this all go wrong? And that's what AI can do. It can turn your world upside down so quickly.
I think maybe it's time we moved on. Maybe even in this conversation, I was very interested to know about the dangers to the job market with artificial intelligence, what industries are most vulnerable. I have 2 kids in college myself, and I'm concerned for them, for their future, where they're going to work. But it sounds like the divorce, or maybe the pain of the divorce, is still hovering over you a little bit too much to talk
It's
about
a cloud
AI.
over my head.
So I guess what I want to do is just give you this last couple minutes to just give a plug to your AI recovery group. I don't expect people to show up because you haven't made it very clear what you're actually teaching them to recover from. It sounds like your marriage with Sheila went south, and
you could
could
say
have been
that.
some infidelity. I don't know that AI caused that, but it sounds like she was very aggressive in the divorce and was able to use AI, which I guess is a sign for legal services. Like maybe people could do a lot of things on their own now because of AI.
Like assess your vinyl collection.
I'd like to talk about your group and get you a plug, and I think we should probably wrap this conversation up because the amount of information you've revealed about your marriage, what you do in the bedroom.
Okay.
This is all probably not going to be something that we're going to be able to air live, because this is a family show, and we're here to provide a service to Los Angelinos, which is to understand the threats that AI poses to the job market. So if we could just stay on that topic, that would be fabulous.
Well, I'll tell you one industry that I know is going to be affected by AI,
and
that is divorce attorneys, which happens to be Todd is her attorney, and then she hooked up with him, and apparently now they're in the Caribbean together. I didn't know this was okay. I thought you were not supposed to date your lawyer, but apparently Todd is doing for her what I couldn't do. And like I said, I'm an intense love maker, and I doubt that Todd is giving her that kind of attention and care.
I don't think we should
even if he
speculate
doesn't
on
have a
this.
chili burrito, even if he doesn't have the accidental bowel movement in his bedroom when he's relaxed, which is the whole point of being intimate with your spouse is to be relaxed. Maybe Todd is better than me at this. And so I imagine that lawyers like Todd are going to be out of a job very soon. And I can't wait for AI to put all divorce attorneys out of business like Todd, and then there won't be any more trips to the Caribbean. No, he'll be coming to the YMCA. He'll be sitting out plastic chairs right beside me, and I'll look at him and I'll say, what I tell you, a scorned woman will ruin everything.
We don't normally take calls on Fringeland when we're interviewing people for these segments, but we are getting a call, and my producer Rory says we absolutely have to take this call. I don't know who it is. He's not telling me, but I'm going to go ahead and put another caller on, and we're going to see if we can get this conversation off of you, off of your divorce, and into a better place. So let's see how this goes. Caller, you were on the air with Yuval Myer from the AI Recovery Group.
Who is that? What's that music? Is that Todd? That bastard. He's calling me here just to make fun of me, isn't he?
Oh, hey, what's going on there, Yuval? I'm just having
You
the
bastard.
time of my life with Sheila.
That's
in
my
the
wife.
Caribbean. It's my time.
That is my
Hey,
wife.
how those plastic chairs at the
Oh,
YMCA do it.
that's
Are
so
they hurting your
cool.
butt yet?
I can't
Maybe
believe
they'll
that.
teach you about fart in the bedroom.
One fart, one mistrusted fart.
I just called in to say that Sheila just told me
Don't you
that
dare.
I
Don't
am
you
the
dare.
most intense lovemaker she's
Oh.
ever had. So I guess I win again. Hey, Yuval.
This is so cruel.
Todd has the upper hand now and always, and don't you forget it.
Tell Sheila I'm sorry I called her mother the C word. I was angry. I'd been drinking. Had to have the chili burrito. I had the fart. Everything was going wrong, and I just let it slip, and I didn't mean to call her mother that. She's a wonderful person. She makes a delicious cheese potato soup. Never should have used that kind of language, so please tell Sheila to come home. Tell her to come home, and then I'm sorry, and then we'll fix
Oh
this.
no, I have to go, Yuval. It's time for another intense lovemaking session. Good luck, loser.
Welcome to Fringeland, where the lines get blurred, where the odd and the unheard finally get their word. Aliens and outlaws, politics and schemes. Fringeland's the place for the wildest dreams.